To look at the history of artificial intelligence, let's ask a large language model, which is on its way to artificial intelligence. According to Google's Gemini 2024, AI technology has undergone a fascinating transformation since its early days. Initially focused on symbolic reasoning and rule-based systems, AI evolved with the rise of machine learning and deep learning algorithms. This shift enabled machines to learn from data, make predictions, and adapt to new situations, leading to breakthroughs in areas like natural language processing and computer vision. Today, AI continues to evolve rapidly, pushing the boundaries of what machines can achieve and transforming industries across the globe. When we talk about the history of AI, there are a lot of details that we won't go over here, but I wanted to pick out a handful of some of the larger milestones along the way. And here I'm going to go all the way back to the roots in mathematics. Everything can be traced back to a mathematical root in this field. So going back to 1642, we have the mechanical calculator. And we'll consider this the starting point of AI. Of course, arguably, one could go back further. But the mechanical calculator, invented in 1642 by Blaise Pascal, a French mathematician and inventor, was the first mechanical calculating machine. In the next milestone, in 1837, Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace designed the first programmable machine. In 1943, you'll notice I'm skipping a lot of time here, and of course there is a lot of advancements in between, but this picks out some of the key turning points. In 1943, Walter McCulloch and Walter Pitts created a computational neural network based on an algorithmic Boolean circuit design. And that was an advancement in threshold logic. Then in 1950, Alan Turing developed a test for machine intelligence that suggested the major components of AI to be knowledge, reasoning, language, understanding, and learning. We call Alan Turing's test the Turing Test. In 1956, John McCarthy coined the term artificial intelligence at a Dartmouth summer research project. This is considered the founding event in the field of artificial intelligence. Next, in 1961, Robert Duvall and Joseph Engelberger devised the first industrial robot to work on the assembly line at GM, called the Unimate robot arm. In 1964, Joseph Weizenbaum at MIT pioneers a chatbot that converses with humans. This was called the ELIZA chatbot. Following that by a couple of years, Shaky the robot was created by the Artificial Intelligence Center at Stanford, which is the first general-purpose mobile robot that is capable of reasoning. Over the time of 1970 to somewhere in the 80s, often referred to as an AI winter, due to the computational complexity of the technologies that were being researched and invented on paper, We simply did not have the hardware power, the capability to realize a lot of the technologies that were being understood and presented as potential for advancement in the field of AI. Without the hardware and the compute power to actually put a lot of these theories into practice, we hit a roadblock. And this is often referred to as the AI winter due to this computational complexity, where things seem to slow down. However, during this time, from 1970 to 80 plus, a lot of work was done on expert systems, and I mentioned just a couple of those here. Edward Feigenbaum's work, which emulated human experts' decisions, proliferated, and some examples include Mycin, Internus 1, Caduceus dendril, and apes. And then I note here in 1984 the Terminator movie coming out, because I believe that this was a point where the idea of AI and intelligent machines created to look like humans first really got put into the public space, and people started thinking about what the implications would be of such an event. From here, the AI race begins. Let's start with Deep Blue as the AI race continues. In 1997, IBM created a supercomputer called Deep Blue. And in 1997, that computer beat the world chess champion, Garry Kasparov. In 1998, MIT created Kismet. Kismet was a machine head that recognizes and simulates emotions. That same year, Sony created Aibo, which was a series of robotic dogs. In 2002, the Roomba came out, created by iRobot. Roomba was a series of autonomous robotic vacuum cleaners that we still have on the market today. In 2009, Google created the first self-driving car, so the autonomous car. In 2011, IBM creates Watson. This computer won first place on the Jeopardy game show. And at the same time, Apple launched Siri, an intelligent virtual voice assistant that I'm sure we are all familiar with. In 2014, a chatbot, Eugene Gustman, was said by some to have passed the Turing Test, meaning that individuals could not distinguish the chatbot from a human. At the same time, Amazon launched Alexa, which many of us have in our homes. This voice assistant was made available to consumers. Ian Goodfellow invented generative adversarial networks, the GAN, which was an advancement in deep learning. In 2016, Waymo, the automated car company, spun out of Google and started testing the first driverless taxi service. I have actually been in the Waymo driver program since it first began testing here in Chandler, Arizona. I was one of the early riders in the program, and I continue to use the Waymo taxi service today. And those driverless vehicles continue to, of course, get better and better. I believe they have now spread to several other cities, of course, across the greater metropolitan Phoenix area here in Arizona, and they've moved to other cities and other states as well. So the driverless taxi that spun out of Google in 2016, Waymo, has been continuing to evolve. Also in 2016, Microsoft's chatbot, Tay, made the news by going rogue on social media. You might remember having read about that. In 2017, Google's AlphaGo beat the world champion Ji in the complex board game called Go. This is a complex game, so this was quite an achievement for a machine to beat a world champion. In 2020, OpenAI created GPT-3. Of course, the precursor to ChatGPT, one of the precursors. And the Waymo driverless service then went public. So it went from being a early rider program to a publicly available driverless vehicle that you could order. In 2022, ChatGPT goes public. Now, generative AI is in prime time and advancing daily. Google's AI passes the Turing Test, and there's no academic debate about it this time. And of course, today we have a lot of large language models that we can use to communicate with. ChatGPT continues to evolve. Google has Bard, which has turned into Gemini now. Anthropic has Claude AI, and there are many more that keep popping up on a regular basis. So at this point, advancements are happening quite rapidly. I end my review here in 2022, and we could literally spend a lot of data points talking about everything that has happened since then. It is now August in 2024, and things have taken off quite exponentially. This review gives 20 points starting from 1642, a few hundred years ago, and talking about the advancements and all of the turning points leading to AI that is on its way to continuing to evolve today. I hope you enjoyed that brief history, and I hope to be creating a new timeline soon to cover the many advancements that have happened since this timeline ends.